Good evening. This is a meeting of the Wilmette Plan Commission. Mr. Adler, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Greeno,
Here.
Mr. George, Ms. Gamey, Mr. Schwab,
Present.
Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Taylor. And I think Ellen George is joining us right now. Chairman Bradford,
Here.
and I will call Mr. George.
I'm here,
Excellent.
Great. Thank you.
fresh from 12 hours of jury duty. I mean, from 12 hours of judge duty at the polls, which I have to go back to.
Well, thank you for your civil service. This meeting is being conducted remotely via Microsoft Teams. For those watching this video in the future, the state of Illinois is currently under a stay-at-home order issued by Governor J.B. Pritzker due to the coronavirus global pandemic. As a result, all in-person governmental meetings have been canceled. However, the Open Meetings Act now permits electronic meetings of governmental bodies like the Plan Commission, and this evening we are conducting our business in compliance with state law. This meeting is being broadcast live on your local cable access channel 6. It is also being broadcast on the internet on YouTube Live, and the URL for that is www.youtube.com/user/Village of Wilmette/live. To participate in the meeting, you can join through Microsoft Teams. Visit the website, Village's website at www.wilmette.com and find the calendar event for the Plan Commission meeting. There is a link there for you to join the meeting. You will also find the meeting agenda and the case reports under the calendar. Alternatively, you can view the meeting on channel 6 or on YouTube and call in to the meeting, allowing you to listen and speak using your telephone. The phone number is 872-239-8225. Tonight's meeting code is 343-388-594#. You may also submit your comments through YouTube Live. A member of the village staff will read your comments to the Plan Commission. All comments to the Plan Commission will be recorded in the meeting minutes as we typically do. For our meetings, guests joining by Teams, when you're not speaking, please keep your device muted to minimize the disruption of the proceedings and your video turned off so the commissioners can be seen. For those of you new to our proceedings, the purpose of this commission is to hear evidence on applications for subdivision, consolidation, land unit developments, special uses, annexation, and other land use related items as requested by the village board. Based on the evidence we hear this evening, we will be making a recommendation to the Village Board of Trustees as to whether the application that came before us this evening should be granted or denied. The Village Board of Trustees will consider the recommendations we make this evening at their next regularly scheduled meeting, which will be held on April 27th, 2021. Our recommendations of the board are advisory only. The Village Board has final say on all applications and will make its own determination as to whether to grant or deny them. The Village Board is not legally bound by our recommendations. This meeting is a legal proceeding, and all testimony tonight must be given under oath. If you are here and planning to testify, we would ask you raise your right hand at this time and be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth in the testimony you're about to give? And if so, please say I do.
I do.
Mr. Adler, would you call our first and only case this evening?
Our case this evening is case 2021 P1 It's a request for a re-subdivision of the two lots at 125, 127 Laurel Avenue. The applicant is proposing to take the two 60-foot wide lots and make the easternmost lot 70 feet where their existing home is on. And then the other lot, which would be 50 feet wide at this time, I believe the applicant is looking to demolish that home. And that is the request before you tonight.
Is there somebody here from the applicant who wishes to speak on the application?
Yes. Let me introduce myself. I am Gino Benvenuti, the president of Benvenuti and Stein. We're a design build firm that's been working on the North Shore since 1977. To give you a little history, Jeff and Hope Sheffield bought the property at 127 with the intention of taking the house down so they could remove the structure, so they could enjoy the open space and the beauty that a professionally landscaped garden could provide. They then hired us after they bought the property and asked us to design to help them with a sunroom addition on their current house at 125. That way they could enjoy the new grander yard all year round. So we went and we came up with a great design, about 340 square feet of addition to the rear of, that would go to the rear of 125. And with great views overlooking 127. So we came up with a very nice plan. We all loved it. We then did the calculations for the permit, and at that point discovered that their home had been built by the builder to the maximum allowable floor area, for the lot size at 125. And there's absolutely no possibility of expansion without doing something else. So consequently, the only remedy that we had to move forward with an addition would be to reduce the size of the lot at 127 by 10 feet as was calculated by the building department, and add that 10 feet to the lot at 125. That would be just enough space to allow for the appropriate square footage area needed for the additional 300 feet or so that we had designed in the addition. So that said, in reviewing the lot sizes in the neighborhood, there are, this would be a 70-foot wide lot. There are several lots that are 75 feet wide on the block, and there are also lots that are 50 feet wide and even less. So we didn't, it doesn't seem like this change in lot width would be anything that doesn't comply with the existing sizes. And, that information is in the packet that the village has provided. So that said, I am requesting that you grant the Sheffields the variation or this request, so that Jeff and Hope will be able to enjoy their new lovely landscaped yard this coming fall, and from their sunroom. I guess that pretty much says it all. You've got the rest of the information in the packet. And I thank you for your time.
And the decision was made to apply for a re-subdivision as opposed to a zoning variance for FAR?
Yes, well, there is no variation in regards to FAR because it's literally the house as it stands is at the limit that the 70-foot lot or 60-foot lot would allow. So.
And Mr. Adler, looking at the information in the packet, after subdivision, both lots are conforming to the current zoning.
Correct.
So it would give the Sheffields in the future the flexibility, should they so choose, to sell the 50-foot lot and allow somebody else to redevelop that within the current zoning regulations.
Correct. If the zoning regulations don't change, that the western lot would be able to be built in the future. It's a conforming lot.
Okay. Is there anybody else here that wishes to speak either for or against the application?
This is Open Jeff Sheffield. We're here and we speak enthusiastically in favor of the application.
Anyone else care to comment?
I just have a question about something. It's not, I'm not against it. I just have a question.
Sure.
Off the sunroom area,
Excuse me, if you could just for the record state your name and
Claire
thank you.
Massey.
Thank you.
I'm at 132 Maple Avenue.
Thank you.
Nice to meet everybody. I have a question about the sunroom projection. It's going to be off the back of the house to the south.
Yes.
And are there going to be any new additional lighting fixtures attached to the sunroom? Outdoor lighting?
Yes, there'll be some outdoor lighting that is specifically for the sunroom. No spotlights.
Okay.
And there's the rear of the property as well. There's several trees. It's pretty well screened. And really, the sunroom will be about 75 feet or so. It's a very, very deep lot. So it won't even come close to the backyard. The dimensions are 75 feet from the new sunroom to the rear lot. I don't have the exact information in front of me. It's quite a distance.
Yeah, it's just, I recently saw a presentation on Go Greenville Met about like dark sky lighting and encouraging neighbors to incorporate that whenever they add lighting in the neighborhood, so it doesn't reach beyond someone's property just because of where our backyard faces the backyards of Laurel, and we have a great view of the Baha'i. So at night we don't, like spotlights in our face. That's just why I'm asking.
Well, I would just add that the village ordinance does regulate exterior lighting, both in terms of limiting any kind of uplight, which promotes the dark skies. There also is a regulation in terms of the amount of foot candles, which is the brightness of the light at the property line of the property. Okay. And for most residential applications, this doesn't apply. For example, commercial applications that have got big parking lot lights, they have to screen those and make certain that there isn't spillover into the adjacent property.
Right. Just to be clear, the lighting is subtle. Most of the lighting will emanate from inside the room. There'll be a lot of low voltage lighting and one fixture in the center of the room, and that's really about it. So.
Yeah, anyway, it sounds beautiful to me. I love the idea that you guys are doing to have that open space. I think it's a great thing to do.
Anyone else care to speak for or against?
Thank you.
Go
quickly
ahead.
checking YouTube, and there are no comments that came through on YouTube
Okay.
live.
Is there a motion to end public discussion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Adler, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. George,
Yes.
Mr. Schwab,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, Chairman Bradford.
Chair votes aye. So that's the end of the public discussion. I would like to now open it up for any comments for the commissioners. Yeah, I'll open my big mouth, I guess. It seems like a very straightforward application. They're not asking for any variances for, established zoning districts. It allows the applicant to further enjoy the use of their property and also gives them the flexibility in the future for, either selling the property or adjacent property or, doing something else with it. So I certainly have no objection to this. All right, any other comments from the commissioners? Then I'd like to entertain a motion to get this matter before us.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So just to clarify, the motion on the floor is to approve recommend the approval of the subdivision of the two lots in accordance with the plans submitted. Mr. Adler, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. George,
Yes.
Mr. Schwab,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor. Oh, you're muted. Oh, yeah. And Chairman Bradford.
The chair votes aye. So that is an affirmative recommendation. It will go to the village board on April 27th, is it?
Yep.
I would just recommend that somebody attend the meeting remotely. Typically, these items are put on the consent agenda, and there usually is no discussion. And being a very straightforward case, I don't anticipate that. But just in the event that one of the trustees wishes to take it off the consent agenda, I would recommend that somebody be present to be able to answer any questions.
Happy to see this through.
And then I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the chairman to prepare the report and the recommendation for the Plan Commission case 2021 P01 to be placed on the village board agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Adler, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. George,
Yes.
Mr. Schwab,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, Chairman Bradford.
The chair votes aye. So the motion carries. Mr. Adler, is there any other business to come before us?
No, the only thing I'll let you know, we did get 5 responses to the RFP. I'm going to be talking with Chairman Bradford later this week about how we're going to be taking a look at those 5 RFPs and most likely interviewing 2 to 3 of the consultants. We expect probably sometime in June for this to kick off. We expect later this summer, hopefully, to get to in-person meetings. So hopefully really right in time to get the comprehensive plan going. I also want to thank Commissioner Schwab for his 8 years of service. Unfortunately, he's terming out. This is his last meeting. And welcome Commissioner George to the Plan Commission, and also thank Commissioner Head, who is now the chair of the Housing Commission. I don't think we had a meeting to sort of thank him also for his time on the commission. And that's all I have.
Mr. Adler, do you anticipate when our next meeting might be?
It most likely it'll be sometime in June. And most likely it will be to kick off some form of discussion on the comprehensive plan. We don't have any subdivision applications or PUD applications right now. That could change. At this point, it doesn't look like we will have a May meeting. We don't expect the village board to enter into the professional services contract until sometime, most likely in May. So most likely in June. It might be July, but then I have the feeling we'll be meeting a lot more regularly for at least the next year to 18 months.
Should be fun.
Should be.
Yeah.
Any other parting comments from the commissioners? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion. My last one.
Second?
Yeah, sure, your last one, you should do it.
We don't need to call the roll. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you all this evening.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.